Are you looking for an amazing 4K video camera without having to sacrifice thousands of dollars? This was my dilemma not too long ago, since I'm now creating tech content and needed to improve from my 1080p webcam that I originally started with. I ended up going with the beginner camera, the Sony ZV-E10. But don't let the beginner title fool you. This little camera is a beast. Get excited because this camera may be just what you're looking for. Let me show you why I chose this camera, show you some sample footage, some pros, some cons, who it's for, some possible deal breakers. Let's get started. While I was willing to pay a good amount of money for the best possible footage, I also did not want to have to pay with a loan or a credit card. I looked at cameras like the Sony A7S III and the Panasonic S1H, which cost about $4,000 to $5,000 when you include a lens. Many of you out there may have the need to record video and 4K footage that looks amazing without you feeling like you're missing out. You may need it for personal projects such as recording your family, you're starting to create content for YouTube, or maybe you do events like weddings and so on. The Sony ZV-E10 not only will give you sharp, top quality 4K footage, it will also save you tons of money so you can purchase other accessories such as lighting, audio equipment, or computer upgrades. The Sony ZV-E10 is an APS-C camera with a 25 megapixel sensor and will cost you $699 just for the body, or $799 with the Sony 16-50mm lens if you choose the camera kit. Personally, I purchased with the kit lens to start off, and even with that lens, it records beautiful quality. But let's look at some of the key features. The ZV-E10 has the same sensor that is on the Sony a6100 and a6400 with a cheaper price and more features. It's also video focus first, but can also take good pictures. Personally, I'm not going to review the pictures since I'm using it mostly for video or only for video. So let's review the key features of this camera. The number one key feature for me is swappable lenses. Unlike the ZV-E1, which has a static lens, the ZV-E10 has swappable lenses and can take any E-mount lens. Personally, I have the kit lens and have now added the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, which cost me $367 and $390 when you include taxes. Stick around till the middle or towards the end of the video and I'll show you some sample footage of that combination. It's very good. The number two key feature is that it can shoot oversampled 4K video and 24 and 30 frames per second. I personally record at 24 frames per second and with the 100 megabytes per second option. Key feature number three is the 425-point autofocus system that comes with the ZV-E10, and it's one of the best out there. It can focus in as fast as 0.2 seconds. Included in the focusing system comes product review, which you can turn on if you're doing a product review and you want the focus on the product that you hold up instead of your face. Some of the remaining key features include having a compact size weighing in at 12.1 ounces or 0.76 pounds, an articulating screen with a red box around the perimeter of the screen to let you know that you're recording, an add-on mic capability, headphone input for monitoring, the option to record slow motion 120 frames per second with the touch of a button, background defocus, and built-in Wi-Fi. But now let's look at some of the sample footage both with the kit lens and with the Sigma 16mm. The biggest pro for me is the sharp 4K video footage the camera can take. It's similar quality to that of the A6000 lineup, but the ZV-E10 is better optimized with better features. The second pro is the pricing and value you get with this camera. If you know for sure which lens you want, get the body only for a low $699 and combine it with the Sigma 16mm lens and you can take killer footage. I'll leave links in the description. However, it's perfectly fine to begin with the kit lens. That's how I started because of the pricing and I just wanted to get started recording. The Sony ZV-E10 provides gyroscopic data which allows the use of Catalyst browse to stabilize shaky footage. I have used this and it works like magic. Just keep in mind that it will slightly crop in the video to stabilize it. But even a low reduction of 5% makes a huge difference in having stable footage. I've taken advantage of this when doing some B-roll and doing handheld recordings. It's almost like watching magic after you see the before and the after. And the results look similar as if you were using a gimbal. The fourth pro is a combination of all the features. Even though it has the same sensor as the A6000 lineup, the ZV just has too many new features and make it an easy decision to choose it for purchase. While there are many great things on the ZV-E10, I want to mention some of the cons of this camera. Number one, the biggest con for the ZV-E10 is the lack of in-body optical stabilization. You will have to use a combination of active steady shot, which crops in your footage, and any stabilization that's included in the lens. But as previously mentioned, you can counter this with Catalyst browse, but it's an extra step you'll need to take, so keep that in mind. The second con is not having a viewfinder for taking better pictures. However, if you're doing video only, it's not a deal breaker. The third con is having a small battery and low battery life. When I'm recording, I'm able to use it for 3 hours before it dies. You will need to compensate by having a couple of spare batteries. You can also set the temperature to high so it doesn't shut off like some other cameras. The fourth con is not having weatherproof ceiling. You'll need to record on dry environments or keep in mind that you can damage your camera if you're not too careful. The camera is ideal for beginner content creators or if you need it for personal projects and you want 4K video footage that looks razor sharp. You'll be able to learn and grow with this camera, and when you are ready for a bigger one, you'll be able to transition with the skills you develop with the ZV-E10. Even though this camera is targeted for vloggers, I would caution you since the footage looks shaky even with active steady shot, but Catalyst browse does make it look good. However, that's an extra step you'll need to take. After researching for the perfect camera for weeks and watching endless reviews on higher end models such as the A7S III, I'm glad I chose the affordable ZV-E10. I'm doing 90% of my recordings in a studio set up with control lighting and on a tripod, so I love the results in this situation. If you're in a similar situation, definitely go with it and you're not gonna regret it. With the money saved, I'm able to continue doing other upgrades such as lighting and audio. And if you decide to purchase this, you're welcome to use the links in the description. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel. You'll be glad you did. And until next time, UltraTech out.